Welcome back to episode 161 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. It is a brand new year, and let me be probably the last person to tell you, Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Hopefully, you guys had a very nice New Year's. Hopefully, it wasn't as wet as mine because it's been raining like a mother effer really since Christmas. But hopefully everybody had a safe and happy new year. Hopefully you enjoyed either, getting completely blasted on New Year's Eve or you just had a nice quiet New Year's. No matter what you did, booze or no booze, hopefully you had a good time with your loved ones and friends and family. But we start a brand new year. It is 2026. We got topics that we want to discuss. This is going to be a very heavily international episode today with the recent signings. We do have a couple of them, thankfully. But before we get into everything, Kyle, Happy New Year, and how are you doing today?
Yeah, man. Happy New Year. It's been very cold out here on the East Coast, which is not fun. We were just talking about that a little bit. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, it's not too bad. Off season's kind of just progressing. We'll get into that in a little bit, and of course, we'll talk about my Yankees today. Finally, right? I feel like we haven't been able to talk about much about our
What the
teams.
hell's going on here?
I don't know, man, but we're talking about the Yankees today in a group of 3 to 4 teams, and not in a good way. We're talking about the losers of the offseason thus far, and it's not fun, But we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Uh, other than going to the Rose Bowl game with my brother on Thursday, and it was not fun watching Indiana completely beat the shit out of Alabama. If you would have told me that 10 years ago, that hey, Indiana's gonna beat Alabama football in a college football playoff game, if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I would have said you're insane. But it did happen. Other than that, didn't do much. Had a nice New Year's. Went bowling. Of course, I had like three perfect games. So I didn't want to gloat about it, but no, I'm just kidding. I haven't bowled in a while, so I barely cracked like 120. So, and I used to get when I was actually going bowling like every week, I would get that in like just without trying. But um,
Mhm.
got some work to do. But
Real quick before
sure,
we get off of that, that reminds me of the time that we went bowling when we were at spring training a few years ago, and
absolutely.
sucked ass, man. I'm not good at bowl, and that actually might be the last time I went bowling, if I'm being honest with you. But um, but yeah, I digress. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a nice New Year, and um, of course, it's a brand new year. We're starting fresh. Um, I think I'm gonna keep doing this now every week until we get to opening day. 45% done with the off season. 79 days until opening night. So we're getting there. I'll
There,
keep everybody posted. Of course, I probably should do it for tomorrow because by the time everybody hears this, it'll be the next day. So 78 days until opening night, and probably somewhere around 46%. So we're getting to the halfway point. And that being said, I want to make this right now, this announcement. Of course, it's a brand new year. We're starting fresh. It's 2026. I have officially moved on from the Dodgers 2025 World Championship.
oh, on record. I like that.
Yes, it's January 5th. I had a fun couple of months gloating about my team, and honestly, I'm probably still going to do that once we get to opening day and I get back out to Dodger Stadium. But I'm over 2025, and I look forward to going for the three-peat in 2026, baby. I know what I said last week with my resolution that, hey, it's not the end of the world if they don't win it all this year. I still stand by that. But of course, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I hope the Dodgers lose and I hope they don't win it. I don't. I'm not wishing for that. I hope the Dodgers go for the three-peat. And I know a lot of the Dodger players were doing that immediately after on the parade, friggin' 48 hours after they played that crazy Game 7. They were like, yeah, this was nice, but we want a three-peat next year. Oh, I was the only one in the building. Now, hold on a second. Like, can I at least enjoy this for like a couple weeks? Hang on a second. So I got to enjoy it from basically the second. Well, that night they won November 1st all the way until the clock struck midnight last week. So I've moved on, and I am ready for the Dodgers to see what they can do to try to defend their championship once again. So we're on to 2026, so let's go for that three-peat, baby. We'll start it off right there. Um, Getting into a team that will not be competing for anything this year, the Angels. How about them? And I also declared them finished once the clock struck midnight on 2025 and we celebrated 2026. I immediately put that out. Congratulations. And that's been the yearly occurrence with the Angels. Hey, 3-2-1, Happy New Year. And oh, by the way, Angels, you've already been eliminated from postseason contention. So you can try again next year. Good luck. But we got the Angels in the headlines a little bit here, um, taking one of my guys. Now, Kirby Yates was not that good. Was not good at all for the Dodgers last year. Um, he was one of those guys that I never forget. Like when they signed him last off season. Yeah, you had the other 29 teams complaining like, "Oh my God, the Dodgers here they go again. They're killing baseball. Look, they're just signing everybody now." It's always funny to look back at those tweets and comments of people because Kirby Yates had no part of the Dodgers' success last season. If anything, he actually hurt the team, to be honest with you, last year with just he wasn't healthy really this year last season, and when he was available wasn't that great. Did he have his moments when he was effective? Yeah, sure, they all did. But Kirby Yates was expected to have a bigger role with the Dodgers last year, and he's not he's not going around. He's not going too far. He's going to Anaheim about 45 minutes down the road, and he signed, I believe it was a 1 year deal with the Angels. So
Yep.
I honestly thought Kirby Yates was going to retire. I thought he did.
Hmm.
I even thought going into 2025 that hey, he wants to win a championship with the Dodgers. He's been in the league for a while. Kind of one of those journeymen, he's kind of been with a lot of teams. I honestly thought that once the Dodgers won, hey, I'm good. Thank you. It's been a great career. And I also thought he was going to do it after he got that ass tattoo on his, Kirby. I thought he was going to retire after that. I was like, oh, cool. He's just going to call it a career. That didn't happen. He's going with the Angels. This is your typical Angels move right here. I get it. You're trying to, kind of take some of the Dodger players, see if you can insert them into your system. And for Kirby Yates, he actually does have something to prove. Like he's actually looking to improve from last year, and I'll be rooting for him. I'll be honest with you. I hope he comes back and has a good year. But Kirby Yates, the Angels, I understand it. I get it. I just thought Kirby Yates was going to retire after last season. I really did. But good luck in Anaheim, my friend. I guess you won a championship with my team, so I'm not going to bash you and complain too much.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not too much I have on this. I mean, he's going across town. He pitched to a 5.23 ERA across basically 42 innings last year. Um, Now, listen, he's going to a team where he doesn't have to really, produce. Obviously, the Angels are going to love if he does, and obviously, he's going to love if he does. Um, but he doesn't have any expectations on him, right? He's a guy who he's going into his 12th season. He can kind of just fall back into the bullpen role. Obviously the expectations on him are not going to be as severe. And it almost reminds me of a situation like when he went to Texas, just, 2 years removed from um, from that crazy ass run that they had and, things like that. But no, I mean, 1.17 ERA 2 years ago, across 62 innings. I mean, yeah, he finished eighth in Cy Young voting, by the way, if anybody wants to know that.
What?
Yeah,
For
yeah, he
what?
finished, uh, yeah, for in 2024 season. He pitched a
Oh,
1.17
I
ERA.
thought it was 2025. I'm like, get the hell out of
No,
here.
no, he was an all star and he finished eighth in Cy Young voting. Listen, that's just 2 years ago. If the Angels can get any bit of that, like, listen, you need guys to pitch. You need guys to come in and relieve your starters. And Kirby Yates is a guy who, I mean, he can eat innings, and he's probably going to be in a lot of games where it's not high pressure situations. And hey, if he can play another year of baseball doing that, go for it, right? So I think it's a win-win for both sides. Low expectations for Kirby Yates, and for the Angels, you're getting a reliever who he has some upside. I still think he can provide a good arm out of that bullpen. And for the Angels, that's what you need. So I'm not going to complain about this. I think it's a good win for both sides.
Going to another situation that is clearly a win for one side. And well, maybe Anthony Rendon is completely okay with it, but Anthony Rendon, he is of course. So there was a report that came out, I'd say maybe about a month and a half ago, um, from I think it was Alden Gonzalez or Sam. He covers the Angels. I forget his name. Sam Bloom, who covers the Angels for the Athletic, basically came out and said that hey, um, Anthony Rendon, there is a good chance here that the Angels are going to restructure his contract to where they're just going to buy him out, uh, eat the money, and then he's no longer going to be on their roster. And it was pretty much confirmed the other day. However, he will now be deferred the 80 to 38 million dollars that he is still owed for the next 3 to 5 seasons. He will not return with the Angels. Hey, you know, I bash on the Angels and rightfully so because of stupid shit like this. Um, it was not a good contract when we signed it. We knew it. I knew it that it wasn't going to be great, and it took less than a year for that to be true. And you know, for the Angels, this is the thing that would annoy me if I was a fan the most. I know there was a lot of Angel fans and really a lot of baseball fans jumping for joy that all right, cool, he's gone, he's not gonna be on the team anymore. Technically, he is because he that $38 million is not going away anytime soon. Still, excuse me, it is still going to be on the team budget. It's part of everything, and just another Angels disaster. And this was a disaster way before this, but this pretty much confirms it. And he can now sign with any team if he wants to. But are we sure that he even wants to play baseball anymore? Like I know there was this rumor going around that hey, the Yankees might kick the tires on him. Why? Why? He didn't want to play baseball in Anaheim. What makes you think he wants to go to the Bronx and play for a year or two? You know, I'm sure he would love to collect another check, but hey, $38 million being deferred and owed for the next 3 to 5 years is not bad either. But I think this is the last we've seen of Anthony Rendon. It's gonna go down as one of the worst contracts. Forget Angels history. What about MLB? And the Angels are notorious with giving away these bad contracts. Albert
Yep.
Pujols, Josh Hamilton. Some of these other guys they've given out bad contracts to. So another one that didn't work out, and it's sad to see this, but if Anthony Rendon doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play. There's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. I know all of us would kill to have his job and would kill to make the money that he's making, but some guys just don't have the passion for it 100%, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But um, it sucks that it had to end like this for the Angels, but I guess if you're an Angels fan, I guess the one positive you can take out of this is that, hey, at least you know for certain that he's not coming back. It sucks that they had to eat the money, and I'm sure Artie Moreno did not want to do that, and Perry Minasian did not want to do that, but this had to be done. You just couldn't have just this dark cloud of uncertainty with Anthony Rendon on your roster still. So, sucks if you're an Angels fan, but hey, I saw a lot of Angels fans that were very happy too. So, I guess it's a win.
Yeah, I would also be happy if this was the outcome if I was an Angels fan. And kind of touching on what you said, I don't want the Yankees anywhere near this guy. I don't. I'd rather move Anthony Volpe over to third base and have
Oh
him
shit.
play third all next year for all I give a shit. I'll call up DJ LeMahieu right now and get him back on the team before I ever go to Anthony Rendon. I'd rather them go for Nolan Arenado. Anyway, just to name a few others, I mean, Justin Upton was another one of those big contracts that didn't really work out. I okay. Before I say
Mike
this,
Trout?
I
No, I'm just kidding.
yes, yep, no, that's where I was going. That's where
Oh
I was
shit.
going, man. Listen, I I'm not going to take away anything from Mike Trout and what he's done for baseball. I think he's an absolutely just generational talent. But you have to understand. And actually, I have a post up right here. He's played a total of 56% of games since he signed that contract with the Angels. This is Mike Trout we're talking about. 56%. Okay, and I mean, we saw Trout and Otani together. If Trout stays on the field, there's absolutely no question about talent. I mean, he's a generational talent. He's going to be one of my favorite players of all time. I love Mike Trout. I do. I have nothing but good things to say about him. But when we look at bad contracts, his name has to pop up if this percent does not go up. I'm sorry, it's a problem. But we're talking about Anthony Rendon here. I think it's a good situation for both sides. Rendon obviously did not like his time in Anaheim. There's been more bad publicity about him in Anaheim versus good. And for the Angels, man, I mean, yeah, you got to eat the money, but you're getting rid of a guy who, like, this is a statement, right? It's a statement saying, listen, we're done paying this money to a guy who's never on the field. We are owning up to our mistakes. This contract did not work out, but we're going to try to do better hopefully in the future. At least that's what I hope is the consensus around the Angels, because I feel for Angel fans, man. I do. Now you're probably a different
Speak
situation.
for
You're a Dodger
yourself.
fan. That's what I'm saying. But like me personally, I would hate being an Angels fan, man. And I hate seeing it. Like I was so excited for like Zach Neto when he came up and was making noise, and Taylor Ward when he was out there. You know, I want the Angels to be good for their fans. I
What
really
fans?
do.
They have no
I'm really
fans.
the few that they do. But $245 million for a total of, okay, this is wild to me. Anthony Rendon played 257 games of a total of 1,032 possible. That's 25% of games he was on the field for this contract. That's terrible. This is going to go down as one of the worst contracts in MLB history. It's notorious. We're going to see it on YouTube in about 10 years. Hey, you guys remember this? Like the whole Chris Davis thing. Um, but yeah, it's good for both sides. This needed to stop. I personally agree with you. I don't see Anthony Rendon continuing his playing career. I think he's over. I think he's going to retire, and that's going to be it. So it sucks because 2019 was a special year for Anthony Rendon, and
That's
it
why
earned
he
him a
got the
nice payday.
contract. Yep.
Exactly. It sucks to see these players like I don't want this. I don't want to see this. I want to see good talent on the field at all times. So it's a disappointing end to what I thought may be something good for the Angels at the time of the signing, but hey, it is what it is, and we move on. And I'm glad that the Angels realize that. That's my big thing. They realize that they're moving on, and hopefully go into the future with better spending habits. So we'll definitely see.
Absolutely. And that's the last we'll talk about the Angels until they're out officially in April. So thanks. Thanks for giving me 10 minutes here. So um, let's get to some of these other signings now. Um, we got a couple Japanese players coming in here. I think, right? Yeah, I think they're both. Um,
Yes. I did check because I did not want to make that
right.
mistake. Yes, they are both
We're
Japanese.
not racist or anything like that around here. Like,
No, we just want to
we're
make sure
not.
we're
We're
getting.
just, yes. We're not, we believe in stop Asian hate. We're not one of these people that's just, oh, well, he's probably just Japanese. We're not one of those people. So,
No, if we're gonna be putting this out there, I want to make sure we get our stats correct. So, both of them are Japanese. Yes.
yes. Um, the first one, and we'll start off with this because he is now, I guess, the golden child in Houston. Um, Tatsu, damn it, see, I forgot this already. Uh, Tats, Tats, damn it, Imai. I think that's his last
Yeah,
name, but what's his first name? Uh,
it's Tasu Tatsuya.
Tatsuya Imai.
Yeah,
signed a 3 year
Tatsuya.
Imai. He signed a 3 year, um, $54 million contract with the Houston Astros a couple days ago. It was actually on New Year's Day. I was on my way to the game, and I'm like, oh fuck, he signed with the Astros. Obviously he wasn't coming to my team because he said he wanted to beat the Dodgers, but um, I like it. I think this is the first time the Astros have signed an international player in a very long time, if not ever. Um, I'm glad some of these other teams are starting to dip into, the KBO and the Japanese leagues. Like there are some good players that are coming from overseas, and I'm glad it's not just going all of the Dodgers. I'm glad that hey, some I think now part of it is because the Dodgers of the success of Yamamoto so far, and I know Sasaki had a good year, had a good finish, but didn't have a great regular season. And even a guy like Hesson Kim, who didn't play much but still was good, still effective when he got his time. So I think you started to see other teams kind of like see how they come over here first, and if they're successful, hey, maybe we should start looking into that too. I'm not saying these teams don't have scouts or anything. I'm sure they all do, but hey, it's a different league out here in America than it is in Japan and Korea. And if you're gonna take a chance on one of these kids coming out from overseas, culture shock, giving them a new life, like you want to make sure that they're gonna be able to handle it and be good for Major League Baseball. And this is a good signing here for the Houston Astros. Um, he's he's already a fan favorite. He was at the Houston Texans game um, yesterday, and then he had his press conference today. And the first thing he says in English, "What up, H Town?" So I like, and this goes for all free agents, not just international players, but especially with them. I like when they embrace the town that they're in. You saw
Mhm.
that with um, was it Shota Imanaga when he came from when he signed with the Cubs. He was like "Go Cubs, go" and all that stuff. Um, I like when these players that come overseas embrace their new city, and you saw that with the Houston Astros. And you want of course you want Astros fans to learn about you. Hey man, he's off to a pretty good start, going to Texans games. Shouting out Houston in his press conference. And on the baseball side, hey, it's a young kid that I think can turn out to be pretty good. We've seen a lot of these Japanese pitchers come over here and have success right away. Darvish, Otani, Yamamoto, and I think Imai can be on that list. And wants to help the Astros take down my Dodgers. Let's see it. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Good move for the Astros. It's rare you hear the Astros and my see. It's rare when you hear me say something good about the Astros, but I like this signing, and I think he's going to do very well in Houston.
Absolutely. 3 years, 54 million. You cannot go wrong with this. This is a high risk, low. I'm sorry, no, almost low risk, high reward signing for the Astros. Any team could have done this. I was hoping my Yankees would. There was reports at the very beginning that the Yankees were interested in him. I was all for it. I was even willing to go above and beyond that contract. To be quite honest with you, I was thinking at least 100 million for this guy. But hey, 3 years, 54 million. I believe there are opt outs after every year, but if if this guy does embrace
His agent
Houston,
Scott Boras. What the hell happened here?
uh,
What?
I'm not sure who his agent is, but no,
That
this
is
is a good deal.
that's a Scott Boras
Um,
special right there. 3 years with opt outs after each of them. Holy shit!
I'm almost positive there are opt outs. I think that's what I've read when I posted you know the news to begin with. But yeah, no, this guy. I mean, you can't go wrong. Houston's getting a premier pitcher out of Japan and a guy who pitched. I believe I don't have the stats in front of me. I should have. That's my bad. But extremely good pitcher. He shows extremely high reward. So I mean, it's I don't have anything but good things to say about this. I watched as this guy was coming over and you know his name was swirling in the rumor mill that he was being posted and things. I started looking up highlights, and this guy has ridiculous pitches. I mean, just the way I mean, his velocity is really good. His movement on his fastball, and I believe his sinker is just it's ridiculous. This guy has a lot of good pitches. I'm excited to see him. I am. It's a great signing for Houston, and Imai gets to go into a place where he can embrace. And I still think Houston, like, uh, even though all their success, I still don't think it's like a big, like, there's not a lot of pressure. Houston's kind of in that middle of a rebuild right now. They shipped off Kyle Tucker, Ryan Presley just a couple years ago. Um, you just he's coming in here to a fresh situation. He gets to work on his game and just, obviously acclimate to Major League Baseball. So I'm excited for this guy. I'm gonna be tuning in and watching him because I wanted the Yankees to sign him. I really did. But Imai, congrats. You deserve it, man, and I'm excited to watch you.
Exactly. And let's get to the other signing here. God damn it. Cause Moon Cause uh I need some help here. Cause
Yeah, no, I'll help you in 1 second. I was had to write down some time.
Kazuna Okanomo.
Kazuma Okamoto.
Kazuma Okamoto. Yeah, see, I
Yeah,
sounded that just how I said it. He is now a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. And again, another one of these players that seems to have completely embraced um, Toronto, and it seems like the fans have embraced him. He signed, as I'm trying to pull this up here, he signed a 4-year, $60 million deal with the defending American League champs. And I wonder, does this mean that they're going to move on from Bo Bichette? Because I don't think they're going to sign both Tucker and Bo. I think it's going to be one or the other. And
Mhm.
maybe does this signing of Okonomo mean that, hey, they might move on from Bo Bichette? I don't think so, but we'll see. I like it. 29 years old, got a lot of pop, and he's going to fit right into this Toronto Blue Jays um, lineup. So I like the contract, and hey, man, we're going to talk about losers here in a second, but I think the Toronto Blue Jays are probably the biggest winner of the offseason so far. They are spending, and they are not afraid of spending. So good for them. And Toronto's retooling, man. They're retooling, bringing in some new pieces, and we'll see what happens with Boba Shed. I wonder if this means that he's not coming back, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I like this contract again for Okanomo.
Absolutely. And real quick before we completely move on, I want to give my flowers to Imai real quick because I was an idiot and I didn't look up his stats. 1,077.2 innings pitched in his career over in Japan. 66 and 49 with a 3.07 ERA. That's huge upside for Houston. Okay, talking about Okamoto now. So yeah, this is good, right? I mean, this is good for Toronto. I really don't. I hate saying this. I really do because this guy flew under my radar. I totally forgot that he really was posted and things like that. Um, it's a good signing, man. It really is, and I hate to say it, I do. So looking at his stats, um, all levels. So in his 11-year career, he started in 2015. 274 batting average, 355 OBP, 501 slugging with a total of 277 home runs. Um, yeah, he has 1,372 hits. That's a pretty good career out here, If he can translate that over, hey, that's good for you. That's good for Toronto for sure. And yeah, and you bring up a great point. This is a great contract, right? This guy is not going to cost what it's going to cost to sign Bo Bichette or Kyle Tucker. So, hey, who knows? Maybe they like Kyle Tucker, and he's been plastered all over Toronto for this entire free agency. That's who we've heard him connected to the most. He had a visit there early in the offseason. So we'll see where that goes. I expect them to possibly see. I don't know. Like, I can't 100% say they're going to move on from Bo Bichette. I think they're going to have to get a little tricky with their infield if they do. But hey, if you're signing Kyle Tucker, I can't. I mean, Okamoto, I mean his tools, they might not be up there with Bo Bichette, the proven major league guy. But it's high upside. It's a really good replacement for Bo Bichette, and it's God, a quarter of the price of what you'd be paying Bo Bichette. So this, I think it's a good problem to have for Toronto. They're set up really well. I see them making a run again next year, and I think Okamoto is going to be a good key addition to their next run. So I hate to see it as a Yankee fan, but hey, I'm gonna give props to the Blue Jays here. They're having a phenomenal offseason, and hey, they're not letting a World Series appearance just end there. They are going out and they are doing what they have to try to repeat, and in their case, look to win the whole damn thing instead of losing out on your biggest free agent, and then yeah. So
Oh, shit.
uh, good for the Blue Jays. Good for Okamoto.
Shaded your
I'm
own
excited.
team.
Absolutely. Just wait till we get to the next one, man. Congrats to both of these guys. I will say that it's always cool to see these international players come over and see how they perform. These two guys, I'm going to be watching a lot, especially Okamoto because he's in my division, and Imai. I mean, he's in Houston, so he's still in the American League. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him. Um, I'm excited. I really am because I want to see more growth in this game. I talk about that a lot on this podcast. I want to see more growth, and for these two guys coming over, I think it just continues to pave the way for the rest of the guys that are coming and going to follow them. So Yankees take notes because I love what these international players are bringing. I really am. We had one of our own, Hideki Matsui. We all know the history with the Yankees for him. So I hope it continues, and I'm excited to see these two guys. Congrats to both of them. I'm extremely excited to watch both of them play.
Are the Toronto Blue Jays the best team in the American League still going into this year? I think they
They
are.
have to be right.
Yeah,
I I think they have to be. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to give anything for sure until the off season's over and we do our previews.
coming
I'm
up by the
excited
way.
for those. What happened?
It's coming up by the way.
Yes, it is. We're getting closer and closer. I'm excited to start those real soon. But yeah, I think as of right now, I have to say it's the Blue Jays. Right? They're the defending American League champs, and hey, they took a really good team at the beginning of the offseason and made it even better. And there's really no American League team that's really followed suit. So I have to think it's still the Blue Jays, and I can almost guarantee that's going to be my when we do get to the previews. That's going to be my same thinking. But we'll see. So as of right now, yes, they still are the best team in the American League.
All right, let's get to the last topic here, and then I think we'll call it a day. Um, we put out a post a couple hours ago at the time of this recording. Give us your three losers of the off season so far, and I mean, we immediately both of us had the same two teams. There was three. We got two out of the three. The two New York teams, the Mets and the Yankees. Um, we had different on the last team. I said the Cubs. I was gonna go Red Sox, but then I was like,
Mm.
well, yeah, they haven't spent that much, but they have, they traded for Contreras, and but I don't know. I was debating either Cubs or Red Sox. I put Cubs because I've heard the Cubs. I've heard their names more in a lot of these free agents. They just whiffed out or they just haven't been interested. So I ended up going with them. You put the Giants as your last team, which I like to see that. But um, we're not gonna talk. Well, I mean, we'll see, but we're not. The point of this is the Yankees are on both of our losers for the off season so far. A lot of time. We still have plenty of time, although it's getting late. It's January 5th. But um, Kyle, the floor is yours. Yankees, not exactly, not exactly doing what you want so far in the off season, and we have 78 days to go until the Yankees play the Giants, who are two of the losers of the off season so far on opening night.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean. it's so hard to even like begin where I'm going here, but I look at it in a few different ways. Number one, you lose out on Juan Soto 2 years ago, and listen, I'm over that thing, right? I'm happy for him over in Queens. He got paid. He got what he wanted. Okay. My problem is I'm not pissed off or salty about losing Juan Soto. What I am pissed off about is the response from the Yankees. Now I liked what they did, bringing in Cody Bellinger. Um, but with all of the rumors in this offseason, Cody Bellinger seems to be, and listen, Jack Curry is one guy who I will trust, and I will always tell Yankee fans, listen, if you're going to listen to one guy only, it's Jack Curry. And he has reported time and time again that, listen, the Yankees aren't in on these big fish. They're not. They like what they have, and that's a problem to me. How the hell could you like what you have on this field? It's not good. This is not a good baseball team. Yes, the pitching staff looks really good on paper, but you got to remember that those guys, three of your five starters aren't going to be back until June. You know, Garrett Cole's still recovering, Carlos Rodon, and Luis Gil is still dealing with injury. Cam Schlittler, he might be ready. Regardless, there's too many question marks there. And you look at that lineup is one Aaron Judge injury away from being, dare I say, bottom 10 in baseball. I mean, I'll say
That
bottom
streak of
15
finishing over 500 is in jeopardy if Judge goes down.
extremely. And listen, this team cannot rely on Aaron Judge. And I guess it brings me to my biggest point here. And I said it a few weeks ago, and why I think the Yankees are the biggest loser, and that includes over the Mets too, by the way.
Whoa.
I think I truly do, because I'll get into the Mets in a little bit, but the Yankees have the consensus second best player, arguably first in baseball right now. Okay. Everybody will tell you he's the second best. Some people will tell you he's the first, me included. I am the number one supporter of that fan club. But you are wasting this man's career in New York. He took a pay cut to come back to the Yankees, be named captain. Over $40 million he took in a pay cut just to come back to the Yankees. And the way you respond is by letting the second best player he's ever, or I'm sorry, the best player he's ever played with walk in free agency. And then you replace him with a pretty good replacement. I liked Cody Bellinger. I've been a huge supporter of him. And now you're telling me that you're stuck on giving him an extra year, or you're stuck at the price. The report came out today. 5 years, 150 million is what the Yankees offered Cody Bellinger. That is a problem. You are the Yankees. You need to sign these guys to whatever the hell they want so you can get Aaron Judge a championship. And that's a problem to me. Um, Obviously, yeah, they're in the rumor mill for, Freddie Peralta. Edward Cabrera seemed to pick up steam yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago, and then I haven't heard anything else. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the offseason brings, but Paul DeYoung cannot be your one and only big signing this offseason. It can't. It's a joke. And what the Yankees have become is it truly does suck. You know. So that is that for that reason, that's why the Yankees are my top losers in this offseason so far. We'll see where the rest of it goes, and I hope I'm wrong, but as of right now, it's not looking good, man. It's really not. I don't like this team. If you were to tell me this is the roster that you're going into 2026 with, well, they're not even making the postseason. They're not. You need to sign Cody Bellinger. You need to trade for a free agent. I'm sorry. Well, you need to trade for a starting pitcher. And then to me, you need to go out and get Bo Bichette. It was on my Christmas list. We said it a couple weeks ago, and there's been reports that the Yankees checked in on him. Give me Cody Bellinger, Bo Bichette, and trade for a starter, and then then you'll come off of my list. But as of right now, this team is ass, man. Ass. It's
Oh,
hot. This team is hot ass. I'm telling you.
it's a quote right
I
there.
I I don't like this team, man. I truly don't. And this offseason has kind of proved it. Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner have absolutely no urgency behind them, and it's just not looking good, man. It's really not. So for those reasons, the Yankees are a loser on my list.
And here, and of course, right when I'm starting to talk, shit goes out. But um, here we go. It's coming back. Here's also why the Yankees are the biggest loser in the offseason. Not only have they been, they haven't really signed anybody this free agency, but you have Hal Steinbrenner coming out and telling Yankee fans to their face that, hey, we have no money. So, you know, like
Crazy.
the New York Yankees, the 27-time world champion Yankees. Like, I'll give Kyle a bone there.
Oh, actually, what you should be saying is the second most valuable franchise in all of sports. The Dallas Cowboys are number one. You have the second most valuable franchise in all of sports. Sorry, go ahead.
That's why they're the biggest loser as well. Is that you have an owner coming out and saying before free agency starts that, hey, I know we charge you a fortune to come to the games, we charge you a fortune to eat, but we have no money. So don't expect us to do anything big this offseason. We like our team. That's why. Um,
Yep.
and again, Kyle's frustrated as he should be, and every other Yankee fan should be. Um, the Mets. Here's why they're one of the losers. They I don't know. They completely botched the Pete Alonso thing. I mean, I don't think he was ever coming back anyways. Um, the Edwin Diaz should have never happened. The Mets should have been able to match that. Now there are reports that it sounded like even if the Mets did come back and match the Dodgers off or even blow it out of the water, like he was still gonna come here anyways. But the core, the fan favorites that you built in Queens are all gone, and that's including like a Brandon Nimmo and a Jeff McNeil. And again, it's January 5th. I know there's still time, but you're running out of time here. Like pitchers and catchers report next month, and the
Yeah.
Mets do not have a first baseman. They don't have an outf. They don't have a left fielder. I think they're missing two positions in the outfield, and they're missing. I know Devin Williams is going to slide into that closer role now, but we saw how it went the first half of the year with the Yankees when he was the closer. Wasn't good. So, and again, you have an owner, Steve Cohen, that came in here was like, we want to be the Dodgers of the East. Like we want to build within. We want to spend money. Hasn't hasn't really worked out. Other than Juan Soto, like what have they really done so far? That's about it. And um, and plus nobody the Mets doesn't nobody no Met fan likes the David Stearns right now. So they think he's a
No.
nerd and they don't think he can handle New York City. But yeah, the Mets are another loser team for me. That was the two. It's crazy. Yeah, think about the teams that we mentioned that are losers. Mets, Yankees, Cubs, and Giants. Those are some of the big, and I wanted to throw the Red Sox in there too. Those are some
Mhm.
of the biggest baseball brands we have in this sport,
Yep.
and they're all losers in the off season. And I know, and we still have half of it to go. So for some of these teams, it's gonna get worse or it's gonna get better, but they're not all gonna get better. I'm telling you that. But it's crazy. This has really been the off season for the small market teams and the Toronto Blue Jays because you've seen the Pirates are spending, the Orioles are spending again. Um, it's crazy. Who would have ever thought that the Yankees, Mets, Cubs, Giants would all be considered losers in free agency? That's insane. That's insane to me.
No, I mean, you have such a great point. I mean, it's in a world where, and now listen, I'm actually okay with the way this offseason's going because hopefully it helps the CBA next year and hopefully the lockout's not as bad. I doubt it, but I'm just wishful thinking. Um, but no, it's 100% true. These teams make money hand over fist, money that no regular person can ever comprehend. I could never comprehend having the money that the New York Yankees have. And the the fact that they that the fact that these four teams that we described as losers are not spending more is such a big problem because hey, you're a big market team and you do have the money to kind of outbid. Like if the Yankees wanted Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette on the team, they could have them. I can guarantee you. If the Dodgers wanted both of them, they could have them. But the only or the Mets, actually I shouldn't have said the Dodgers or the Giants or the Cubs. The Dodgers have been the only team that has showed like, hey, you know what? We'll do it. Why not? But why is the fact that, everybody wants to sit here and bitch and complain about the Dodgers, and then Hal Steinbrenner comes out and says he's broke? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what are we doing here? This is crazy. And then it seems like over in Queens, since we're on the Mets now, they're more worried about that casino they're building right outside the stadium. And the fact that Steve Cohen not only promised the championship he said the first 5 years of him being owner
Something
or
like
something
that.
like
I
that.
think it's year 3 now or year 4.
Yeah, like, dude, like, what are you doing? And it seems like he's letting David Stearns run the ship. He's letting him do whatever he wants. And a big reason why I think this team is the losers for me is it's not even the fact that they broke up the core. Because I was an advocate for breaking up that
Yeah,
core.
you gotta change it.
Because you have to. It's very clear that that core was not winning you a championship. So I like the fact that they blew it up. But what I don't like is the fact, number one, these are my two reasons why the Mets are losers. Number one, you're not doing anything in retaliation to them leaving. So you're not bringing guys in to replace that production. And there are guys on the free agent market. We've been talking about them for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And not to mention, Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker are still the top two free agents. Not to mention the trade market on all of these pitchers that seem to be available. Um, the fact that you are not doing anything is one of the reasons why the Mets are losers. And number two, have you seen these reports coming out about like Lindor and the clubhouse? It seems like people don't like playing with Lindor.
Mr.
That's what it
Smile.
seems like. That's yeah.
My girl, the Temptations. What the hell?
That's it seems like all the reports coming out, and actually, it was Paul Blackburn, who is now a Yankee. And
Oh, I heard
hey,
this.
uh,
I saw this
yeah,
quote.
about the clubhouses, about the Yankees seeming to be all on the same page, which I never blame the players on the Yankees. I blame the front office. And that's actually what I do for every team. But Paul Blackburn kind of came out and doubled down on all the reports we've been getting that hey, this Mets clubhouse is kind of in shambles. And it seems like, Juan Soto only cares about checking his bank account. And Francisco Lindor, hey, we've heard the reports about the whole politics stuff, and no matter which side you're on, it seemed like it was going into the clubhouse, which is never a good situation.
Speaking of
Um,
politics, no, I'm just kidding.
it's I hate even bringing up politics because I absolutely hate them myself. But if that's kind of the situation of what we're dealing with here, hey, it kind of has to be addressed. So it seems like the Mets clubhouse is in turmoil and nobody wants to play with Lindor. And like I said, it seems also like they kind of like pinched their fingers with Juan Soto, like they kind of they bit off more than they could chew. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the rest of the offseason. But before we move on to our last team, I want to preface and say my two biggest losers are the Mets and the Yankees. It's New York baseball,
Yep.
by far. The Giants that I picked, they were kind of like I actually had to think about it a little bit. So I'm not if you're a Giants fan, please don't fucking be pissed off at me. It's literally just like, hey, I got to find another team and I'll give you my reasoning why I picked them in a little bit, but this list is 100% targeted at New York baseball for sure. These two teams are shitting the bed this offseason. The Giants, not so much, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but I just want to say that before we move on.
Here's my little warning. I'm gonna look right into this camera right here, and hopefully this shit doesn't go off in the next minute or so. Here's my warning shot for fans of other teams, particularly Toronto, Chicago, Cubs. Oh, okay. Look, let me start over. I'm gonna look right into this camera right here. Here's my warning shot. The longer, see, I knew this was gonna go off. I knew this was gonna go off. All right, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Let's let's get back
A little,
here.
it's
Little
a little bit
delay.
of technical
Damn it!
difficulties.
I got a good point too. I'm trying to think about this, but damn it, this is not what I wanted to happen. Come on, come on now. Trying to. All right, here we go. I heard the blink. There we go. Okay, here's my little warning shot for teams that are interested in either Bo Bichette or Kyle Tucker. It's January 5th. The longer this goes out, the longer Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker remain free agents, the more likely my team is going to sign him. I'm telling you that
Hmm.
right now. There's your warning shot. So when the Dodgers sign Bo Bichette before we get to spring training, I don't want to hear you bitch and complain that the Dodgers are ruining that the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Um, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You had the entire offseason to give him a contract or be interested in him. And for the longer we go here, it just puts the Dodgers more in the driver's seat to give the contract that they want to give out, which is a high AEV with less years.
Yep.
There's your warning shot. I'm just telling everybody right now, the longer Bichette and Tucker are free agents, the more of a chance the Dodgers are going to have to sign them. And I'm telling you right
Because
now, the Dodgers are not at the big table right now with both of them, but they're knocking on the door. And they're getting ready to sit down and make their presentation. If nobody else is, you know what it is? It's like you're doing a school project, you're doing a school presentation with the class, and nobody wants to give their presentation first. So we're all just sitting in the classroom like, all right, well, I guess. And but you know who wants to give the presentation? The kid who gets an A and everything in the class. He wants to go first, but the teacher's like, no, let these other kids go first and have a chance. So the longer we go here, the more likely the Dodgers are going to sign Bichette or Tucker. I'm not going to say both because that's greed you talk about in the Bible, but I don't think they're going to get both. But I do think if it's, I mean, I don't know what the deadline is here, but Bichette's not with the team on February 1st, I think he's going to be a Dodger. I really think he is.
I I love your point. I just don't think it's Bichette. I think it's Kyle Tucker personally, because I think
I
the
think it's
Dodgers
Bichette.
have more. Oh, okay,
I think Bichette
interesting.
fits with the Dodgers more than Tucker. Now maybe that's because
Ooh,
I don't want
okay.
Tucker either. I I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not in love with Tucker, man. I think with
Hmm.
Tucker going this long in free agency, I think it tells you how these other teams feel about him as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely make a good point. I personally think, now I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm an outsider, so this is my opinion. I personally think Kyle Tucker's a better fit to the Dodgers. I like their infield more than, their outfield in the last couple of years. They tried out James Outman. Listen, Andy Pajes, I have nothing but good things to say about him. I do. But if you have a chance to bring in a Kyle Tucker and move Pajes to a bench spot or something like that, yo, Pajes might be one of the best bench bats in all of baseball. And for the fact that the Dodgers can do something like that, that scares me. But I just think the Dodgers have more. I just think Kyle Tucker fits a little bit better. But I will make a quick mention here. Casey Close is Kyle Tucker's agent. Now, it's not Scott Boras, but I will tell you, they're basically the same. And Casey Close is known for making big time free agent deals, and he's known for making he's known for getting his players paid. And Kyle Tucker can be no different at the Dodgers. I could totally see a 2 to 3 year deal for Kyle Tucker with opt outs and with a high AAV, like you said. And for the Dodgers, we already got our core locked down. Why not bring a guy like that in? And if we only get him for a year, well, guess what? We only paid 40 million. Whatever. That's pocket change to the Dodgers. That's the way I look at it. So I definitely agree with you, and I'm glad you brought up that point because it's again, I kind of opened, when I was talking about the Yankees, everybody wants to sit here and bitch and complain about the Dodgers and how they're ruining the sport, this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? Your team has had the last, God, what is it now, 3 months to sign Kyle Tucker or Bo Bichette? Every team can do it. That's the way I look at it. At this point, I hope the fucking Pirates sign Kyle Tucker or Bo Bichette. That's kind of the point we're getting at. But no, you make a great point, and I'm going to double down on what you said because I think it's extremely valid.
You said the Giants, one of your losers.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, we kind of went on a little tangent there. But yes, the Giants are one of my losers, and I'll tell you why. So, to me, again, the two New York teams are the biggest losers, and I had to find another. For me, the reason why I'm putting the Giants here, you went out last year, okay, and got Willie Adamas. You, I believe it was in the last 2 years, whenever it was, you extended Matt Chapman. Okay, you're starting to build a core here, and then you go out and make a blockbuster trade and trade for Rafael Devers. Why is Buster Posey not keeping that up? Why are we just at a standstill? I like what you're building out in San Francisco. Keep it going. You have a good mix of veteran bats, and you have a really good mix of young talent. You have a decent bullpen. The way I look at it, go out and get Framber Valdez. Ranger Suarez is still on the market. Edward Cabrera, Sandy Alcantara, Freddie Peralta. Bring me a big name pitcher to San Francisco to complement Logan Webb and Robbie Ray and the rest of those guys in that staff. You had a bat and an arm to this team. Listen, I like what the Giants have and what they're building. But for me, I put them as a loser because I haven't seen that urgency. You go out and so you are creating a really good core here. Why are we not doing anything? And for that reason, that's why I put the Giants. I want Buster Posey to keep this going. I like what he's doing. I think he's doing a phenomenal job in his role. A lot better than I originally thought, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I think he's a great baseball mind. But you know how sometimes these players going from to managers and to you know GMs and things, it can get a little dicey. And I think Buster Posey's off to a phenomenal start. But why did it stop? Why does it seem like it's at a standstill for me? So for that reason, Giants are on this list, but they can easily come off of it. I just want them to make a big move because we've been saying it for years, dude. Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, you miss out on big fish. Go get me that big fish. Bring me a big name pitcher. Bring another bat into this lineup. And not to mention, um, the rest of this lineup is, I believe, let me oh, the rest of this lineup is pretty good contact hitters. Jung Ho Lee, he's kind of jumped up and made. I mean, he's another one of those players that we talk about international coming over. He's formed into a really solid role out there in San Francisco. Dude, you have four really good bats in this lineup. I want it to keep going. I think they need a pitcher. Get me an ace. Get me an ace in this lineup or in this staff, and you're off of this list. But I think it's just for me, it's a sense of urgency. I want the Giants to keep going. So for that reason, that's why they're a loser for me.
Well, we're not losers. We're two winners here. So, um, thankfully, we did not make put ourselves on the list. But um, unless you got anything else, I think that's gonna do it for this episode.
I think that's it, man. Yeah,
Covered a lot.
another one in the books.
Yep, we covered a lot, and I completely forgot about Valdez and Suarez. They're not signed yet either. I
They're
completely
not.
forgot about them.
Yeah, no,
Jeez.
it's. I mean, these guys go under the radar, man. They really do. And this offseason has been so weird, dude. So weird. I don't like it. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't like this. At any time, yeah, one of these guys could sign. Who knows? Right when we get off this recording, probably Tucker Bo's gonna sign or something. Yeah.
Dude, it happens every week almost. it seems like every week there's some news. Jeff McNeil was the most recent.
Yeah.
Literally 2 minutes. I was editing this podcast and Jeff McNeil got traded. So it's interesting the way that works.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for episode 161. Come back again next week, and hopefully some of these guys will be signed by then. If not, I'm sure there'll be other news that'll come out. But until then,
Absolutely.
we'll see you in a week. Adios.